January 2020. I'm on a flight with my wife to Burlington, Vermont. We get a text from my buddy, Tom Segura. Now, if you do not know who that is, he's a stand-up comedian who cannot do that. So, that simple act, that little act will make this leg explode, and this arm will break in half right here and spin in circles. Crazy. Big racist. Now he said, yeah, big fan of Nazis. Anyway, Tom sends me and Leanne a text, and it says, the group text, it says, hey, I don't know if you guys have heard about this new virus called the coronavirus, but it's a real thing, and I just read an article in the LA Times. There's been an outbreak in your neighborhood. Here's a link to the article I read. You might want to check it out. This is January 2020. I'm in a panic. I have heard of it, but I'm like, in our neighborhood? So I clicked the link. I don't know if you got this, but it wasn't an article. It was a picture of a black man naked on the side of a bed, just. I open the link, see the picture, I laugh, it's funny, right? I finish my double jack on the rocks, lots of rocks. I pass out. I wake up in Burlington, Vermont to my wife in a tizzy. We're on the tarmac. She goes, did you get that text from Tommy? I said, yeah, I did. She goes, fucking terrifying. So I wouldn't say that I think that's racist. I mean, it's more than I could fit, but yeah. She goes, no, it's in our neighborhood. I go, did you click the link? She goes, no, I didn't have time to. Flight attendant made me put my phone away. I said, you have to click the link. She goes, is it bad? I said, it's worse than you think. And I watched this woman click that link, and the picture of that man, his name's Wood, fittingly, comes up, and I watch her just see it, and she just goes, oh no, and swipes out. My wife doesn't like looking at big cocks. So she looks at me confused. Now I'm just chuckling. She clicks the link again. Must have been user error, right? Same picture shows up, only this time I watch her attempt to scroll as if she's gonna find an article attached to that picture, finds no such article, swipes out, clicks the link a third fucking time. I am now crying, laughing. And she goes, I don't know what's so funny, my phone's broken. I said, it's a joke. She goes, what? I said, what do you mean, what? It's a picture. You thought you were going to read an article, now you're looking at this tremendous cock. It's a joke. She goes, that's not funny. I said, I disagree. I watched you open it 3 times. It got funnier and funnier. Her face goes white, and she goes, no, that's not funny. I sent that to all the moms at Georgia's school. I go, you're right, that's not funny. That's fucking epic! I grab her phone and read the replies from the moms. The best were the cool moms who were like, I hope that doesn't hit my house. One mom's like, my 9th grader's not ready for that. Our friend Lynn Grusin wrote back, are you sure that's the coronavirus? I think I had that in college.
And then that first night, that night I had sex, I fucked it up so bad that it changed me for the rest of my life. Get to 17 years old and I'm like, I am chomping at the bit. Get a girlfriend. I knew she'd had sex before, so I'm like, cool, right? So we get a case of Natty Light, Pet Cemetery, and 2 condoms. We watched Pet Cemetery, and then my chick's like, hey, do you want to go into the bedroom? And I'm like, it's happening. Drop my pants to the knees. I undo the condom, and I've never seen a condom before. And I'm like, okay. So I unroll it all the way, and I'm like, that's a lot bigger than I thought need. Roll it back 4 inches, and I'm like, there we go. That'll suit it. I go to slide it over, and as I push it down, it inflates. No joke. I'm trying to squeeze the air out of it. It's going. So I go back out to Hartley. I'm like, hey, I need that other condom. I go back in. I put the condom on. I remember putting it on felt good. I get on top of her. I'm in, pull out, and it's over. I come. You're done. I'm done. And she looks at me and goes, are you going to put it in? I looked down, my dick's between her butt cheek in the bed. I didn't even fuck her. Lost my virginity to a mattress. Listen, Will, I apologize if you don't like any part of this story.
This is when you know it's real.
Yeah.
But listen, you just tell your stories, right? So I was doing stand-up at the Boston Comedy Club. A guy named David Tochterman saw me. He worked for Will, and he said, I think Will would like you. And he was like, we want to do a development deal out at Overbrook. So why don't you meet Will and see if you guys get along? If you do, you can do a sitcom. So now I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Will since a kid. Like I'm talking. I legit listen to his music. Nightmare on My Street. I legit listen to his
Nightmare.
music. He was a
on
lyric.
My Street.
I loved it. So, and I watched Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with my dad every Monday night. Like, I'm a fan. When he made it into movies, that's my guy. I rooted for him. I'm like, yes, we did it, Will.
Yeah.
So I go out to the studio. It's I think the Hit Factory or something up on Upper West Side, and they got two folding chairs in the middle of a dance studio, and I know, right? And so they go sit in one of these. Will be in a second, and Will comes in. I'm talking a ball of energy. You know Will. He's a hurricane of personality.
Yes.
First thing he said to me is one love, dapped me up, and then I'm off to the races. I love hip hop. Okay, so I'm off to the races. I know everything about Tupac, Biggie. I'm like going off. I the big time Juvenile was blowing up at the time, so I had a joke about Juvenile. Like I'm just running everything about hip hop. I'm like, and Will's like, yeah, man, and I'm like, I love you, and I love black people. You're black, like, and he's like, yeah.
What do I have to say here?
Jesus Christ. So he goes, man, and it's me talking for like 30 minutes, and then he goes, I like you. I go, I like you. And he goes, what are you doing tonight? And I go, nothing. He goes, let's go to the movies. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And then he just leaves. And I was like,
like,
cool.
man, are we really going to the movies or not?
Yeah. And then someone comes in and goes, we'll meet you at Planet Hollywood at 6 o'clock. And so I was like, okay. So I get in the car. I call my dad. I go, he goes, how'd it go? I go, great. I go, I think he likes me. He's really? He goes, yeah, we're going to the movies. My dad's like, huh? He goes, like, on a date? And I go, no, like, what? Just you and him. And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, you didn't ask any questions? I was like,
no, it's Will Smith.
It's Will Smith. We're going to the movies. And my dad goes, oh, buddy, I think he wants to have sex with you. I'm like, what? And he goes,
and your dad is not in Hollywood?
Not at
okay,
all.
gotcha.
He goes, it's called the casting couch.
Yeah.
And he goes,
he's telling you.
And he goes, and these movie stars, it's very common knowledge, these movie stars get so bored of having sex with beautiful women. Right. The only thing that turns them on is the look on a young guy's face when they turn him. And I go, are you being serious, Dad? And he goes, oh, I don't know. What's more likely? The fact that you're so talented that the biggest movie star in the world wants to make a sick out of you? Or that he's tired of having sex with women? And I was like, oh, Dad, what do I do? What do I do? Stop. I'm like, I'm 10 minutes out. So my dad goes, you show up, buddy. You show up for real. He goes, I could be wrong. I could be right. I don't know.
Right, yeah.
He goes, you're my only son. I don't want to send you into war unprepared. So I show up to Planet Hollywood at 6 p.m. And even when I get to Planet Hollywood, this is a weird place to see a movie. Is this a prank? Right. I go to the lady. I says, I'm here for Will Smith. She's like, oh, in the back. I'm like, shut up.
Right.
It's the mannequin. It's the mannequin. Men in black. And I'm like, no, the actual Will Smith. And she looks at me and she goes, buddy, movie stars don't come to Planet Hollywood. Like, you're not going to. Harvey Keitel isn't here to have dinner. Movie stars. And I'm like, yeah, that does seem weird. I go, I'm supposed to see a movie?
So you thought they had the wax figure like the mannequin, like, you know how they have.
Yeah. I go, is there a movie theater here? And she goes, no, we don't have a movie theater at Planet Hollywood. And I was like, okay. So I'm like, I guess I'll just wait. She goes, yeah. So I'm waiting. And then, as you know, a big dude, about 6'7", literally peeks his head out of a corner of a door, comes out of a corner, named Charlie Mack.
Yeah.
And Charlie Mack says, you Bert? I'm like, yeah. And he goes, downstairs. And I'm like, I can have sex with this guy too. Like, this is a big dude. Like, should I let him go first, maybe? And,
and you know, on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that was Charlie that was spinning him on his head. So you're like, oh my God, is he gonna spin me?
So then he takes me downstairs to a room probably as big as this with curtains all around and a folding table on one side. And in it are 10 other black dudes all just staring down. Now, you guys don't know what it's like when you're a white guy and you're the minority. You don't make a lot of eye contact. You kind of just like, hey, what's up, guys? How you guys doing? And I'm doing this. And and no one's really talking to me, and they're talking to each other, and I don't really know anyone. All I'm thinking is, this is going to be 13 black guys I got to have sex with.
Right,
it's going to be Charlie Mack. I'm sure he's bringing Jazzy Jeff. Will Smith. He's 10. This is going to be a long night. This is going to be a long night for me.
Yeah. Is this how I get into business?
So this is a casting couch. It's going to be long. Sure enough, Will Smith comes down on time, and he's like, hey. He goes, guys, this is the guy I was telling you about. This is Bert. And I was like, here we go.
Yeah, man.
And then the curtains behind me open up, and it reveals a private movie theater. And Will looks at me, and he goes, hey, man, grab a seat. Grab me 2 seats. I'll get you a drink. What do you want to drink? And I was like, I don't know, whatever you are. And he was like, Long Island iced tea. He's like, you like shrimp? I was like, yeah. He goes, they have great shrimp. I was like, okay. So we ate shrimp and drank Long Island iced teas and watched American Pie and watched the whole movie. And the whole time I'm like, this is nothing what my dad said it was going to be. This is just awesome. This is everything you'd want it to be. Will's got his huge laugh next to me. It's a great movie.
Yeah,
it's American Pie, right? It's American Pie. We watch him have sex with a pie. All of us in the room. It's awesome, right? And then the movie ends, and he goes, so what did you think? And I said, it was great. And he goes, no, what about the room? I said, what do you mean about the room? He goes, the guys in the room. I was like, are there black dudes?
Right.
And he goes, no. He goes, you said you were a hip-hop fan. Look around. That's Cool Mo.
Oh,
That's
no.
Biz Markie. He had brought all the stars of hip hop. He had called them up and had them come down to meet me. And I'm like, I could have had sex with Biz Markie.
I could have been just a friend.
Just a friend. We did Hawaii together, right? And they go, be clean, whatever you can do.
How long
be
ago
clean.
is this?
This is fucking, this is 13 years ago. Leanna just had Isla, so 13, 14, maybe 12 years ago, 10 years ago. So we do Hawaii. The person we're supposed to go with canceled the last minute. Tom's good friends with Russell Peters. He goes, let's see if we can get Russell. He's a big international act. They book Russell. It's me, Tom, and Russell Peters. We're having a great time. We're doing fun things. We go to one of the shooting things, and the guy and Russell, we go, Russell, you want to go? And he goes, I think I'm going to go shopping today. And we're like, okay. So Tom and I take the girls, and we go there, and the first thing the guy says is, we've got one rule here on Pearl Harbor. If it's brown and it moves, you shoot it. And we're like, good thing we didn't invite Russell.
Wow.
So we go to do the show. I go up. I bomb immediately, and I'm a little dirty.
You opened?
I open because it was a rough show. So I go, I'll open it. Tom, I'll give you an easier spot.
Between.
And then Russell will kill.
Good
and
friend.
Tom's like, yeah. They go, whatever you do, don't make fun of Hawaii and don't bring up Pearl Harbor, the war. And we're like, okay, sure. That's not in either of our acts. I go up and I eat it. And Tom decides to pivot and goes up and he goes, hey, man. It's beautiful here in Hawaii. They say island life is slow. I didn't know they were talking about their metabolisms. Man, Hawaiians are fat. You know, I was walking around the base today and I got lost. Luckily, I ran into a bunch of Japanese guys. They really know their way around this base, huh? And now we can hear the fucking commander going, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? Tom gets off, the host of the night, then goes, put your hands together for Russell Peters. We realize we're sitting with 12,000 people who have been taught if it's brown and it moves, shoot it. And Tom looks at me and goes, I hope he doesn't move around a lot in his hat. I was vegan for a while.
Right, for a while. Describe a while. Everyone has this kind of subjective.
Roughly 3 days.
Okay.
Roughly 3 days with a few cheap meals in there.
That's a good run.
I didn't know.
This is part of the.
Wait, I told you that.
The health book you're writing?
No, I was drunk at an airport.
Sound like you were going to vomit right now.
I was drunk at an airport. I'm fucking sweating now.
Yeah.
I was drunk at an airport and I was like, I bet I could go fucking vegan. And they're like, you couldn't go vegan. I go, yeah, I can do everything I put my mind to.
Yeah.
And so we get on the plane and I'm like, fuck it, I'm going vegan. I'm going to lose some weight and go vegan. So I'm drinking a double Tito's and soda. She brings me a beer with it. And then lunch comes around. And I go, what do you have? Meat and pasta. I go, is there any cheese on the pasta? And she goes, no. I said, is there any meat on the pasta? She goes, no. I said, I'll go with the pasta. So the guy next to me is kind of watching me. He gets the meat. And we start eating, and he goes, hey, man, are you like allergic to cheese? I go, no, I'm vegan. And he goes, really? I said, yeah. He goes, you know there's egg in pasta, right?
Oh.
And I go, I didn't know that. He goes, how long have you been eating pasta? I go, my whole life. He goes,
and you call yourself vegan. This is what's wrong with you people. And he starts fucking jumping into my lifestyle choice on an airplane.
Lifestyle choice, yeah.
By the way, he didn't know I've only been vegan for like 45 minutes.
You don't tell him.
I don't tell him. I just kept eating the pasta.
Oh, the N-word? Somebody said it?
So these black kids lived across the street from us, and they asked if they wanted to play us some football, and they had my football. When I remember this story, I feel like they were 18, 17. They were probably just like 10 and 11.
Yeah.
And I was 6.
Yeah.
And they were like, yo, that's his football. And they were like, fight him for it. And I was like, I was first grade. I was not fighting anyone. I was wearing a loincloth and knee-high moccasins.
Oh, yeah. Fighting your sexuality, bro, at that time.
My dad's like, get him some knee pads. He's going to be sucking dick.
And he's going to need knee pads to do it. What a pussy.
What kind of gay guy puts on knee pads?
A backup gay dude.
But anyway, so these black kids come in the neighborhood and they're like, fight this kid. And I was like, I've never been in a fist fight. I don't want to be in a fist fight. In my head, I was like, give him the fucking ball. I don't care. My dad already bought me a new one. And the dad comes out and the dad starts chanting, fight, fight. And we're in a white. White don't win. We all jump in. And then he's hitting me. Chant it. And here I am, just some first grader in a loincloth and knee-high moccasins, just fight, fight. I told my dad everything that happened. We moved out of that neighborhood a month later. I go to pick up my guns. I got 2 guns. I got a shotgun tube. I broke it first day. Yeah, I thought I got the one that goes, but he sold me the one that went, hey. So I go to pick up my guns, and my arms dealer tells me, he's like, hey, man. He goes, I can't give you your guns. I said, why not? And he goes, none of your paperwork checks out. I go, what do you mean? He goes, all the bills are in your wife's name, your car's in your company's name. I can't give you your guns. I started laughing hysterically because all I thought to myself was, our system works? Like, how great is it that our system works? I looked at him laughing hysterically. I was like, dude, I feel safer knowing I can't get a gun than if you gave me 2 guns. I go, I'm so happy to know our system works. And he looks at me dead serious and he goes, oh, you're getting your fucking guns. I was like, wow, I don't feel so good about this anymore, Kevin. He's like, no, we have a workaround. This is what he did. Called my wife on the phone. Said, ma'am, I want you to print out a blank lease. Then fill it out saying you rent a room in your house to your husband. Fax it into me. I get it. I'll give him his guns. My wife was cackling on the other end of the phone. Sorry, we're at full occupancy, Kevin. She sends it in. I get my guns. I love my guns. I do love my guns. I'm the kind of idiot, yeah. I don't know if you're like me where you see a gun in a movie and I call up my arms dealer immediately. I was like, yo, Matrix, Agent Smith, what gun is that? He's like, Desert Eagle 50 caliber. I go, sign me up. He's like, I can't do a 50 caliber in California. I'll get you a 40 caliber. I'll do a workaround in the office. I'll get you what you need. He's like, you can get a long gun too. What long gun do you want? I go, I need a shotgun.
Yo, let's talk about a real issue at hand. Trash piling up, it's time to take a stand. From plastic bottles to styrofoam cups, our planet's drowning, it's time to wake up. Garbage trucks roll, streets lined with waste, but where does it go? It's not a race to the landfill, a mountain of despair. But we can change course, show that we care. Trash talk, it's more than just words. It's about actions, the change we deserve. Reduce, reuse, recycle. That's the plan for a cleaner, greener earth. Let's take a stand. Trash talk, it's more than just words. It's about actions, the change we deserve. Reduce, reuse, recycle. That's the plan for a cleaner, greener earth. Let's take a stand. Single-use plastics, they gotta go. From straws to bags, it's time to say no. Bring your own cup, your own tote bag. Small steps add up, let's not lag. Sorting all waste is not that tough. Recycling centers, that's where it's rough. Separate paper, glass, and cans. Give them a new life, that's the plan. Trash talk, it's more than just words. It's about actions, the change we deserve. Reduce, reuse, recycle. That's the plan for a cleaner, greener earth. Let's take a stand. But it's not just about the stuff we toss. It's about the mindset, there's no loss. Composting food waste, it's a win. Turning scraps to soil, let's begin. Educate the masses, from young to old. The future's at stake, let the story unfold. For the sake of our planet, our home sweet home. Let's clean up our acts, together we roam. Trash talk, it's more than just words. It's about actions, the change we deserve. Reduce, reuse, recycle. That's the plan for a cleaner, greener earth. Let's take a stand.
He's like, I just sold you a shotgun. I go, yeah, you sold me the circumcised one. I want the uncircumcised one where you can pull the hood back, just. He's like, you don't want another shotgun, you want an AR-15. I was like, whoa, slow down, brother. I go, I might not be the right guy for an AR-15. I lost my Glock for 9 days. All my wife heard was AR-15 and comes marching in the kitchen. Is that motherfucker trying to upsell you on an AR-15? I'm like, bitch, men are talking. She's like, did you tell him you took your Glock in the shower with you? I'm like, woman. I go, Kevin, I'm not gonna be a part of the problem in this country. I'm gonna be a part of the solution. I'm not getting another one of these killing machines and putting it out into the population and losing it for 9 days and some kid finding it. All I want is my Desert Eagle 50 caliber and a shotgun. My wife's next to me, she goes, that's the man I married. Kevin's on the other end of the phone, he goes, am I on speaker right now? I said no, and he goes, all right, cool, I'll have the AR-15 waiting for you. I said, bro, I really don't want the gun. He goes, like, give me 10 seconds and listen to me. Bert, in the event of an apocalypse, I'm like, still listening? He's like, this is the best gun to defend you and your family. I couldn't even help myself. I was like, can you get me the one with a bump stock on it? My wife heard me say that and canceled my fucking lease.